Hello everyone and welcome back to Uncommon Sense, the channel where we question everything and we learn together. On this episode of Freedom Friday, we want to revamp a little piece of our very first episode here on Uncommon Sense, and let me tell you why. By looking back, we can understand how we have all grown with this madness that we have all experienced over the last couple of years. So of course, as it's Freedom Friday, let's roll the anthem first.
United, there is little we cannot do.
Welcome back, everyone. First things first, I do want to apologize for the late episode of Freedom Friday. For me and Butch, personally, our lives have been a little busy, a little bit chaotic, a little bit hectic. Because of this, we will be taking a short break from creating content. But fear not, my friends, for we will be back. And no, that is not a threat. In fact, it's guaranteed. And before I play this clip, I'm going to propose the same question to you guys that I did to my fellow questioners on Slug, and I want to know what you guys think. Please feel free to leave your comments. Oh, good. You're here, because I kind of want you to hear this. The recent video about anarchy has sparked some interest and brought some conversation to the table. What I'm wondering, while reading comments on various different platforms, is why can't we? The main disagreement with anarchy has simply been that humans are not inherently good, and therefore an anarchist-like society could never work due to the fact that there is no establishment to hold people accountable. My question then is, isn't that the problem? The centralization of law, thus creating the platform for the greedy to gain power over the many? Have we not seen our establishments of law and order manipulate said law to their own advantage? We are all asking, what can we do to fix the century-old issue of government? We wish to live in liberty, free of the man telling us what to do, not to do, and how to live our lives. Those of us who understand the true meaning of liberty also know that in the times when the law is not there to aid us, we have the means and courage to handle various situations and protect our families and our property when necessary. To live in an actual free society may not be the utopia that everyone is asking for, but having the freedom and discipline to make your own choices, suffer the consequences, and grow in our own individual ways is the truth of living freely. We can't eat our cake and have it too. Either we want freedom or we want tyranny. I think that is the ultimate lesson in all these years of various governments that don't work for one reason or another. We can either live as free men and women, or we live in the anticipation of when the next dictator will find their way to the throne. When it all boils down, it seems to me as though the nature of things gives us this ultimatum and shows us that there isn't really an in-between. If we want to be free, then we must take accountability and responsibility for absolutely everything. I think that is the actual scary part for most people. They want a system that will back them up with law, but they also don't want that system telling them how to live. And as we have seen, things don't really work that way. So I think we have a choice. Do we want law or liberty? Which would you choose if those really were your only choices? Food for thought. Let's play the clip.
Hello and welcome back to Uncommon Sense. Here I am, Uncle Butch, and I'm going to assist you trying to wade through some of the matters that are plaguing us today. We see it in the news, we see it on Facebook. Let's just cut through the bullshit for a moment. I'm going to read this. This is by Dave Ramsey, and it's entitled America in a Nutshell. This morning I realized that everything is about to change. No matter how I vote, no matter what I say, lives are never going to be the same. I have been confused by the hostility of family and friends. I look at people I've known all my life so hate-filled that they agree with opinions they would never express as their own. I think that I may well have entered the twilight zone. You can't justify this insanity. We have become a nation that has lost its collective mind. We see other countries going socialist and collapsing, but it seems like a great plan to us. Somehow it's un-American for the census to count how many Americans are in America. People who say there is no such thing as gender are demanding a female president. Universities that advocate equality discriminate against Asian Americans in favor of African Americans. Some people are held responsible for things that had happened before they were born, and other people are not held responsible for what they're doing right now. Criminals are caught and released to hurt more people, but stopping them is bad because it's a violation of their rights. People who have never owned slaves should pay slavery reparations to people who have never been slaves. After legislating gender, if a dude pretends to be a woman, you are required to pretend with him. People who have never been to college should pay the debts of college students who took out huge loans for their degrees. Immigrants with tuberculosis and polio are welcome, but you'd better be able to prove your dog is vaccinated. Irish doctors and German engineers who want to immigrate to the U.S. must go through a rigorous vetting process, but any illiterate gangbangers who jump the southern fence are welcome. $5 billion for border security is too expensive, but $1.5 trillion for free healthcare is not. If you cheat to get into college, you go to prison, but if you cheat to get into the country, you go to college for free. And pointing out all this hypocrisy somehow makes us racist. Nothing makes sense anymore. No values, no morals, no civility, and people are dying of a Chinese virus. But it is racist to refer to it as Chinese, even though it began in China. We are clearly living in an upside-down world where right is wrong, wrong is right, where moral is immoral, and immoral is moral. Where good is evil and evil is good. Where killing murderers is wrong, but killing innocent babies is right. Wake up, America. The great unsinkable ship Titanic America has hit an iceberg, is taking on water and sinking fast. Lord help us.
Okay, and before we let you guys go today and wish you a happy Freedom Friday, I would like to know Butch's thoughts on that question that I proposed at the beginning. Simply because, for one, he had no idea I was going to throw that in here.
Right.
And he didn't hear it before I read it to you guys.
The
real question is, would you choose law or liberty if those were your only choices?
I would choose liberty.
You hear that, people?
Hands down, no hesitation. I would choose liberty because law enforcement has gotten to the point where they're ridiculous. They're power hungry people out there that are in the positions that they think they have authority over everybody.
Mm-hmm. And how many times throughout history have we seen the law enforcement, the police force, be controlled by the government?
Yes, for not so nice means.
Yeah. You know, like what
not
happened in
positive
Germany.
way.
And,
yeah.
you know, the first Russian Revolution. And
the Gestapo.
Yeah. And your Bolsheviks and stuff like that.
Yes.
You know?
Do your research, search up history, and learn.
If you would choose law, I want to really know why. Why do you think it's so important that we have a system of law? My reason that we don't need a system of law is that if we all teach our children the morals and values that we all believe in, that don't have to be, you don't have to be Christian to believe in those values, right?
Right.
To understand the basic needs of a human being, to understand what freedom and liberty means, you don't have to be a born-again Christian or anything like that.
No. You just have to be a decent human being. Use some common sense. Would you want it done to you? No? Don't do it then.
Well, it goes back to our episode on morals.
Yeah.
The basic morals that we all understand, treating others as you wish to be treated. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not lie. Those weren't just the 10 Commandments.
No.
Those have been basic human values since we were hunters and gatherers. If you treat someone like crap, you're going to get it back.
Exactly. In Wicca, they have a thing that whatever you put out, you get back
Yes.
thricefold.
And Wicca stems from what? Oh, Druidry. That thing I talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wicca is the modern day Druidry, or a form of modern day Druidry, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes back to you threefold, and it's the same concept that the Buddhists have with karma, which is a bitch. But it's not a bitch when you do good. Because when you do good, then it comes back to you threefold, and now you have been what the Christians call blessed. Well, I think that wraps it up.
We will be taking a couple weeks off. We have some stuff we have to do. It's called family. We have to
Yep.
take care of family. And but we will be back in a couple weeks.
I'll be back. Stay informed. Keep questioning the world. And
Stay free.
Yes, yes.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same.